We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those of you who are calling in, please ensure that your line is muted. Thank you very much. Before we begin our regular agenda, we have some very special guests that I'm pleased to recognize. Today, or March, is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, which brings attention to the varied and unique experiences of our residents with developmental disabilities. It's a time to celebrate their achievements, advocate for their rights, and promote understanding and inclusivity throughout our community. Everyone, regardless of their abilities, has the right to be respected, embraced, and provided with the opportunities to thrive. This month is a reminder of the value, rights, and aspirations of those with developmental disabilities. Here to tell us more about Developmental Disabilities Awareness is Dot Yeager, Superintendent of the Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities. Welcome, Dot. Good to see you. Congratulations on your new post.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, Administrator Wilson, DCAs, and others. So our agency began in 1967 as an outgrowth of our changing society with increased acceptance and inclusion. At that time, children with developmental disabilities didn't go to school, and adults lived in large, isolated institutions. Today, our vision is for eligible people with developmental disabilities to live, learn, and work in our communities to the extent of their abilities in a safe and healthy manner, and that the community will be well informed about developmental disabilities and will be accepting of individuals, as Commissioner Boyce so eloquently stated. So what is a developmental disability? It starts with an underlying diagnosis of a severe chronic disability, which could be mental, physical, or both. It manifests before the person reaches age 22, is likely to continue indefinitely, and results in a what we call a functional limitation, and it changes at different ages. So at age 3, it's 1 delay. At age 6, it's 2 delays. Age 6 or older, 3 functional limitations in a major life activity, such as learning, self-care, mobility, and at age 16, economic self-sufficiency comes into play. And how do we impact, how do we support people with developmental disabilities? So early diagnosis is important. We use individualized supports, therapies, educational and occupational training, and we do this through partnership and collaboration. With early intervention for birth to 3, we are strong partners with the Franklin County Family and Children First Council, Help Me Grow. There are 2,000 referrals every year. We also partner with Nationwide Children's, Ohio State University Nisonger Center, Childhood League, Dahlberg Center, Easter Seals, and the YMCA. And then for age 3 to 5, we have a preschool program that serves 400 students at any one point in time. And we're very proud of our long history of inclusive, collaborative classrooms with Child Development Council Head Start. That's been in place since 1991, and in 2001, that grew to include Columbus City Schools, the YMCA Child Care, and Ohio State University Nisonger Dental Clinic at our Johnstown Road location. Also with Franklin County Family and Children First Council for children with intensive needs, we're partnering with those multi-system youth with Franklin County Children's Services and the Adam H. Board. And as we mentioned at the beginning, services for school-age children have evolved over time. In the beginning, there were segregated schools, and now federal and state directives want children to be served in the least restrictive environment. And so our focus of the school program that we run is on students aged 14 to 22 to help them prepare for their life after school. And the first option we are seeking for them is integrated employment, not segregated employment. And we have a team of service coordinators who assist all of the people we serve with the supports that they need. So for adults, we're assisting with housing, transportation, and again, employment, and not least, community recreation, including Special Olympics, which obviously is a national program, and we're very proud here in Franklin County. As with these other things we've mentioned, they began in a segregated environment and have shifted over time to more inclusive, more integrated modes. And in 2013, Special Olympics began what they call unified sports. And we're very proud that in 2014, the Columbus Crew began participating in a unified soccer program where athletes, both with disabilities and not compete together in that way. So again, thank you for bringing me here to talk a little bit about DD Awareness Month. And our theme this month is All Means All abilities, all voices, all of us.
One, Ms. Shager, let me again congratulate you for taking on the post that you recently have elevated to. I know that you all won't miss a beat with you there. You've been doing this for quite a long time, and I'm going to enjoy working with you in your new post.
Thank you very much.
I will share with you, though, that I have a family. My nephew has been one of your clients, I think that's the right terminology, for many, many years. And I can tell you that it's changed his life. And moreover, it's impacted our family's life in a way that we can provide an environment for him so that he has a healthy and productive life. He goes to work every day. He's picked up by bus transportation, I believe, or van transportation. He works a full day and is learning something, has learned something, takes his job seriously. And then when he comes home, it's provided a platform for him to learn and understand how to function in life. And even at, I'm going to say he's probably 30 now, even at that age, there are a lot of navigation elements about life that can be very complex and very difficult. And I know for sure, for 100% sure, without the resource that you all have provided him, his quality of life would be severely diminished. And even to this day, we're going to do something as a family on Thursday to help him. And we would not be in position to do that. And to me, it's a really important part of his life. We wouldn't be able to do that without the services and resources that your agency has provided for quite some time, quite frankly. I'm not sure when he was diagnosed, but I would say he probably went through most of his childhood undiagnosed, and then it got more noticeable as he got older, and we finally was able to kind of get some medical assistance in terms of directing, and the outcome has been nothing but positive. So it's my personal story, and I see it every day working and having an impact. And I know of many, many, many families that have from pre-K services and educational services that are offered there to employment resources. The list is really endless. And your agency, and I hope you let your staff know this, your agency improves the quality of life of Central Ohio in a bigger way than they may think. So,
Thank you.
Dot, congratulations. So as long as I've been a county commissioner, when there was a Jed Morrison, there was always a Dot Yeager. And that provides, a great level of comfort for not only the commissioners, but for everybody in county government that deals with your agency from an operations standpoint. So, I'm sure that it also provides a great level of comfort for the families and the clients that the agency deals with. So congratulations, but also it's wonderful for all of us that deal with the agency. But as Commissioner Boyce says, we all have friends, family, neighbors who deal with developmental disabilities and deal with your agency. And so, on behalf of all of us who have those friends, family, and neighbors, it's been great over the years for us to be able to see the development or the evolution of the developmental disability world and the developmental disability agency. It's, for somebody like me, the senior commissioner around here,
Very senior.
we remember what it's been like over the years, but we also, it's wonderful these days to see the development and to see the evolution of care, the evolution of the agency, the evolution of all that it's going through. Just the evolution of the attitude.
Sorry.
You think after all these years, somebody would know to turn their ringer on before they walk into the meeting. But anyway.
That's never happened to you. You've never done that before, John.
I actually used to do that intentionally, but that was before when I had, anyway, that's another story.
No comment, no
That's
comment.
another story, Ken remembers. But anyway, it's been great. And so the evolution that we've seen, and so thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that your agency does. And I know I say it every time we have a call or every time we have a meeting, and Jed used to thank me for it all the time. But thank you to all of the folks that work in your department and your agency. And if you could remind them that the commissioners really appreciate all that they do on behalf of the residents of Franklin County.
Absolutely.
I will do that, and I know that they do appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks so much for being here today. All right, we're going to keep it moving. We had a special guest, but he is unable to be here today, so we'll keep the agenda moving. Is there approval of the minutes of the January 2nd, 2024 organizational meeting, the December 12th, 2023, and January 2nd, 2024 general sessions, and the December 7th, 2023 briefing session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved.
Great. Board of Commissioners.
Resolution 184-24, resolution authorizing general fund support to the Franklin County Soil and Water Conservation District for calendar year 2024.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brad Foster, Franklin County Engineer. Commissioners, this resolution authorizes the annual contribution to the Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District from the general fund in the amount of $645,000 and $400. I'm sorry, $645,400. At this time, I would like to introduce Jennifer Fish to talk a little bit more about this program, and pending any questions after her speech, I would ask for your approval.
Thank you, Commissioners, again for your support. The county support to Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District is essential to us leveraging other funds throughout the county, including local government funds and state matching funds. With your support, we leverage at least $350,000 in state match funding. And currently, we have agreements with 24 communities to provide assistance for stormwater programs. Our work with the commissioners is focused on providing stormwater programming and permit compliance with the Ohio EPA in the form of public education, outreach, stream outfall mapping, monitoring, development plan review, construction site inspections, promotion of green infrastructure practices, and working with the county and businesses on pollution prevention. With large projected increases in development and population, we have updated our strategic plan in 2023, and our goals currently are to improve climate resiliency by increasing implementation and education opportunities for sustainable conservation practices by land users, resulting in a 10% increase in conservation practice engagement and adoption. And continuing on with that goal, a lot of our focus in partnership with City of Columbus is looking at communities that we haven't been as engaged with or involved in getting conservation on the ground. So there has been a lot of work in City of Columbus along that end. We also, the next goal is to position the district to be adaptable and relevant in a rapidly growing Central Ohio region, resulting in a 5% combined increase in digital, in-person, and partner engagements annually. So I think we have some ambitious goals to continue to increase our outreach, increase awareness of stormwater and water pollution so that we're well-suited for the future with population growth and climate change coming down the pike. Some exciting highlights from last year, we established an additional 11 acres of wetlands on our demonstration property in the Hell Branch and Darby watersheds. And to date, we have restored 200 acres, resulting in 2,890 linear stream feet, 11 acres of wetlands, and 18 acres of wetland buffers on that property. We've also secured funding to start the Central Ohio Collaborative for AmeriCorps. So we currently have 10 AmeriCorps members serving with us, and it's creating what we want is kind of a conservation team or conservation warriors that can just go out as a team and do tree plantings, native plantings, invasive species removal, and we have a large partnership with Metro Parks, Green Columbus, Friends of the Lower Olentangy Watershed, Grange Insurance Audubon, Licking Soil and Water, and I'm sure I'm missing a couple others. But so we're very excited about that. So just really, again, trying to expand that base of getting more conservation on the ground. And with our partnerships with municipalities and the county this year, we have $285,000 in cost share funds that we are providing to get more conservation on the ground to residents, businesses, and community gardens. So with that, again, we couldn't do all this without your support, so thank you so much.
It's a great partnership.
Well, I was going to ask you to describe a linear stream foot, but that may be a little bit much for this morning's meeting, so.
Okay. That was a little specific, yes.
So anyway, if there are any questions other than that, I think I'll just move for passage of Resolution 184-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 184-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Next, drainage engineer.
Resolution 185-24, resolution authorizing appropriation adjustments for easement-related expenditures within the Stormwater Management Program.
Commissioners, the next resolution authorizes the transfer of appropriations in the amount of $23,893 in the general fund for carryover from 2023, expenditures, and the need for the supplemental appropriations for the Hell Branch Meadows and Ayers easement and miscellaneous costs for the Ohio or for the Clean Ohio grant. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no questions or comments, I'll move approval of Resolution 185-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 185-24 has been adopted.
Great. Thank you. Engineer, please proceed.
Resolution 186-24, Mead and Hunt Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer by providing detailed engineering design services for the Frank Road 7.31 over Early Run Bridge Project, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $338,421.
Commissioners, our next resolution seeks approval of a contract with Mead and Hunt Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer with detailed engineering and design services for Frank Road 7.3 run over Early Run Bridge Project. Mead and Hunt is a local engineering firm and was chosen via the engineer's qualifications-based selection process. The project seeks to replace the existing bridge and will accommodate the addition of a shared use path and sidewalk. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 186-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 186-24 has been adopted. Resolution 187-24, resolution approving a contract modification with TRC Companies Incorporated for detailed design services for the Cooper Road 1.82 over Noble Run Bridge project, an increase of $95,079 for a revised contract amount of $195,079.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks approval of a contract modification with TRC Companies for detailed design services for the Cooper Road 1.82 over Noble Run Bridge project. It was determined that TRC Companies should provide detailed design engineering services for this project. The total cost of the contract modification will not exceed $95,079. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of 187-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 187-24 has been adopted. Resolution 188-24, various drainage improvements within Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, our next resolution seeks to declare necessary various drainage improvements throughout Franklin County that include Brose Parks Drainage Outlet in Madison Township, Long Roads Drainage Improvement for Sophie Village in Madison Township, and McCoy Ditch Lateral Number 4 in Brown Township. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 188-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 188-24 has been adopted. Resolution 189-24, report first of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Schleppe Road 0.60 over Bevelheimer Ditch Improvement Project, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $10,000.
Commissioners, our next resolution seeks compensation for two property owners abutting the Schleppe Road Bridge 0.60 over Bevelheimer Ditch Improvement Project in Plain Township. The project seeks to replace the existing structure. We negotiated with the property owners, and compensation is based upon fair market value. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 189-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 189-24 has been adopted. Resolution 190-24, report ninth of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Cleveland Avenue from Huey Road to Cook Road Improvement Project, Clinton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $300.
Commissioners, our final resolution seeks compensation for one property owner abutting the Cleveland Avenue from Huey Road to Cook Road Improvement Project in Clinton Township. As mentioned previously, this project seeks to improve pedestrian safety and access management along the corridor. We negotiated with the property owners, and compensation is based upon fair market value. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 190-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 190-24 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Next is Sheriff.
Resolution 191-24, resolution supporting the Sheriff's Office to add 3 additional participating agencies to the countywide DUI task force.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Albert Smith, Assistant Finance Director for the Sheriff's Office. Our resolution approves a contract with the Columbus Regional Airport, Mifflin Township, and the Ohio State University to participate on our DUI task force. This grant runs through September 30th of this year. Adding these 3 Agencies to our task force will bring the current membership to 23 participants. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 191-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 191-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Office of Aging.
Resolution 192-24, resolution authorizing a grant contract between Central Ohio Area Agency on Aging and Franklin County Office on Aging for services under the National Family Caregiver Support Program in the amount of $256,048.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Larice Cohens, Chief Financial Officer for the Office on Aging. This resolution seeks approval of a grant contract between the Central Ohio Area on Aging and the Franklin County Office on Aging for services under the National Family Caregiver Support Program. Nationally, 53 million people fill the role of unpaid family caregiver in Ohio. That number is 1.5 million. I'll say that again. 53 million people fill the role of an unpaid family caregiver, and in Ohio, that number is 1.5 million. Caregivers provide hours of care to their parents, spouses, partners, and friends, many of whom are exhausted physically, emotionally, and financially. Kinship caregivers are also on the rise, caring full-time for minor children who are not with their biological parents. In Ohio, almost 230,000 children under 18 live with their grandparents or another relative, and only 4,500 of those placements are through an approved kinship care placement through public children's services agencies. Research suggests that children do better when they are placed with extended family, grandparents, or close family members instead of foster care. However, caring for children also comes with a great cost. The Franklin County Office on Aging has been awarded grant funding from the Central Ohio Area on Aging, who authorized by the Ohio Department of Aging to administer and distribute funds under the National Family Caregiver Program, National Family Caregiver Support Program authorized by the Title III of the Older Americans Act of 1965, as amended to fund various supports that help family and informal caregivers and care for those older adults in their homes. This resolution funding also includes MOUs with 9 providers for the following services, such as durable medical equipment, institutional respite, caregiver counseling, appliances, and comprehensive case management services, working with both SERS House of Leadership and Urban Family Development. This grant contract authorizes the Franklin County Office on Aging to use the funding provided through COAAA to provide services to support unpaid caregivers to older adults and kinship caregivers in Franklin County. The total amount of this award is $148 for the period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. This resolution supports goal number 9 of the Franklin County Rise Together Blueprint. Pending any questions, I respectfully ask for your approval of this resolution. Thank you.
Please, DCA Bivens.
Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator, Health and Human Services. Just really quick, I know you went over the data for the Ohio placement. Can we get the data for the Franklin County placement for kinship? Commissioners, I think you will find this information beneficial as we begin to work on the Franklin County Aging Blueprint that we are going to start putting an RFP out for so that we can prepare for our booming population in the aging space.
Based on the census data, which is challenging because they don't collect information on non-grandparental relationships. So what I can tell you is that based on that data, there's about 280,000 children in Franklin County that live in the home with a grandparent. And in that, 30% of them are responsible for, solely responsible for young people. And 30% of them are also below the federal poverty level.
I think that would be good to set up a meeting with CHIP so we can have a further conversation so that we can make sure our dollars are supportive, wrapped around, and we're not being duplicative. So, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
If there are no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 192-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 192-24 has been adopted.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Resolution 193-24, resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute an agreement with the Columbus Fashion Alliance to support a workforce development program which focuses on retail readiness and entrepreneurship training. This is in the amount of $1,107,302.25.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The Columbus Fashion Alliance is a fashion-based profit that supports the creation and growth of creatives and fashion-based business through multiple facets. Columbus Fashion Alliance has developed a program that bridges the gaps that currently exist with the industry ecosystem through a community-based approach and by making fashion accessible to all through exposure, enrichment, and workforce development programming, focusing on retail readiness and entrepreneurship. This agreement will support the program Ready to Work, which is a hands-on and experiential job skills and entrepreneurship training program. This program builds structure around their Made to Grow program and bridges the gap for the future of fashion summer internship. And the gap for the future of fashion summer internship, while simultaneously reaching other BIPOC and underserved youth. Under this agreement, the Columbus Fashion Alliance will serve 28 young adults, ages 18 to 24 years, in a 26-week cohort cohorts of the Ready to Work program. The program will operate 2 tracks, one for retail readiness and the other for entrepreneurship readiness. This resolution supports the Rise Together Blueprint, goal number 3. And today we have Yogi Terrell, CEO for the Columbus Fashion Alliance, here for any remarks and to answer any questions you may have. And after the remarks and pending any questions, we will request your approval of this resolution.
DCA Bivens, Mr. Terrell, if you want to come on up and introduce everybody with you there. And Director, I don't know if you want to say any comments either, but you're free to come make comments as well. And then
Sure. Yes.
DCA Bivens, I think you might have some comments.
Go ahead.
Defer to the Director.
Oh, good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. D'Amica Withers, Chief Economic Equity and Inclusion Officer in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. As Ms. Bumper explained, that this program will provide entrepreneurial services for growing businesses here in Franklin County in the Short North Building that I'm sure Johanna Terrell is going to further explain. And I did send some information to your offices regarding the highlight for Franklin County and the support, the continued support that you have offered to the Columbus Fashion Alliance to help build access and opportunities for the world of fashion in underrepresented communities. Were you wanted to say? Okay.
Please, Mr. Terrell.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We started down this path in 2020. And when we started the Columbus Fashion Alliance, it really was, the intention was to take everything that we have in this city. Columbus is the 3rd largest fashion economy in the country, next to New York and LA. And a lot of people don't know that, yet really don't understand the economic impact that has for our city. It's one of the top 5 industries here economically. And so ever since we started this organization, it was really about addressing all the barriers in between. And we understood what fashion could do for people in cities like LA and New York. And you usually would have to either move to those cities or give up on your fashion dreams. But why do that when we have the 3rd largest economy in fashion right here in Columbus, Ohio? So our work has always been related to solving those barriers and giving more people opportunity. It's an economic development initiative. And so since we've gone down this journey, the county has been there with us. In 2020, we were supposed to open, and we got shut down immediately. And it was with the county that we understood that, people of color needed to be in the mix when it came to making masks. And that was our first project we did together. And the next 2 years after that, what we've done is we've built programming to make sure that people of color have a chance to be a part of this ecosystem. We have some of the smartest and most impactful people in the fashion industry from around the world living right here, and they're willing to share knowledge and resources about that. And so this is how this program really got started. It was because when we were dealing with the youth, we have a great summer program called Future of Fashion. And what we realized is that after a lot of these, youth, graduate high school, they're like, okay, I'm ready, what's next? Well, there's barriers to get into college. There's barriers to get into art schools. And so we said, okay, we have to solve for that. And then as we met more and more entrepreneurs who said, I have a dream for a brand and I want to get that brand to market, they had barriers because, of course, as a startup brand, I don't have the money for rent, I don't have the money for staff, I don't have the money for marketing, and so they didn't get a chance to really get their products out to market. And so what we saw was a chance to do something dynamic and game-changing where we could take some of the expertise from the retail industry and also bring that knowledge to those, young leaders ready to get into the industry but have barriers, and also solve for entrepreneurs. And so what we created was Ready to Work. And the concept is pretty simple. Is with your partnership, we're gonna be able to create a space that is our channel for, one, getting emerging entrepreneurs to market, and then helping them solve for that gap that they have with staff and marketing and merchandising and running a store, by giving the other audience a chance to get real world experience while they get on their next, and help them get into more of leadership positions in the retail industry. So we're kind of solving two problems for two different, groups of passionate people, all through place-based economics. And that's what this is. With your partnership, we are actually creating a channel and a platform to help emerging brands get to market and see success, and getting new fashion leaders of color into this industry. And so I brought some of the participants and some of the leadership as far as that program. We got Jovan, who's one of the brands. He introduce himself?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jovan Salam. I came up here today to not only support Yogi and the Columbus Fashion Alliance, but also to speak to you all to give a greater example as far as what Columbus Fashion Alliance has done for other designers, but also myself. I came up here from Dayton, Ohio to come to school for fashion design at CCAD. At the time, I was driving an hour and 20 minutes every day to come to school, and which was really tough. And starting out at fashion school was really hard because the workload was too much. I really wanted to start a brand, but didn't have the direction to go of where I wanted to be, and didn't have the mentorship. Yogi just happened to come speak at CCAD my junior year, and I didn't know who Yogi was, he didn't know who I was. I didn't know what Columbus Fashion Alliance was. I was new to the whole entire scene. But after he spoke, I was able to just grab Yogi, put him to the side, introduce myself, tell him what I wanted to do. He was like, yeah, all right, I'll see you soon, if that time comes. And then I was given the opportunity to intern at Columbus Fashion Alliance, sort of pretty much at the beginning when they were starting to open, when I was helping Kevin Black, who was helping make the mask, and it was a great opportunity. And since then, in 2020, I've been there since, and it has really helped me thrive, not only as a man, as a person, and as a designer, to be where I want to be today. I never would have thought I would be right here speaking to you all about this. I've been able to generate my own clothing and my own brand through Fashion Alliance. I was going to wear a blazer as everyone else, but I decided to wear something that I've made in that space. Now I'm able to create clothing from start to finish, from the drawing of the pattern, being able to use the tables, to sewing, to be able to use the printers to print my own designs, and it's really helped me come a long way. Sorry, I don't want to take up too much time, but I did have some things written down that I just wanted to express. Even for this young man behind me, Elijah, I met him when he was working at J. Crew just a couple years ago, and me and him just got to talk about what he wanted to do and what I was into, and then now we're both here. Like, it's just how Columbus Fashion Alliance has just brought a lot of young designers, individuals together to be able to bridge the gap in the fashion community. I also wanted to add that it's helped a lot of people that I've seen grow. I was able to see a lot of other brands that's come into Fashion Alliance, from whether they were younger or older, to be able to have the resources that nobody thought that they would have. I didn't think I would have any of these resources that I have here today to be able to produce a brand at such the caliber that I am. Like Yogi said at the beginning, a lot of people think they have to move to New York or LA to be able to thrive. I was one of those people. All my friends, when I graduated from college, either moved to LA or New York, and I decided to stay. And I took the chance to stay and to build my brand here in Columbus because I wanted to have that community in Columbus. I didn't want to be just another designer who went to school here, left, and then maybe comes back in the winter or so to see family and just talk about what I'm doing. I wanted to bring the whole community together with my designs, and as well as Columbus Fashion Alliance. Now I'm part of the retail space that we're building now, and it's incredible. And I hope that you guys are able to see that and just help us out with this funding, because it's really going to go a long way. I mean, I cannot tell you how grateful I am to be able to have this opportunity. It's really changed my life, my family's life. We're able to meet, to not have a job out of college, and to be working out of CFA, to be able to fund my home, my mother, brother, sister. It's really been great. So thank you.
Yes, I will be very brief. My name is Elijah McKnight. I'm from the Milo Grogan community. I grew up here in Columbus, Ohio. I attended Bowling Green State University for 6 years. I actually dropped out, and I say that to say that the CFA has been more of an untraditional way for me to develop and kind of project my career. I came home in July 2023, or excuse me, June of 2023, and I was a part of the Future of Fashion program at the Columbus Fashion Alliance. And I remember coming home immediately and being like, I got to get into the fashion scene. So I would just bust to the Columbus Fashion Alliance every day. And I hear this black man talking about all of the things that we need to do in Columbus and how we need to have this here for these kids. And I'm just like, who is this guy? Like, who does he, like, what is this? And when Yogi introduced himself to me, I mean, I immediately got goosebumps. I did not think that a black man or a person of color would be the creator of all of this. And going to the Future Fashion program, I was the marketing group lead for the kids, and so I was over the marketing department. There are 5 departments: fashion development, merchandising, design, visual merchandising, and marketing, of course. And through that time, I've seen kids come in, be extremely shy about what's going on, and then at the end of the summer, we got 5 to 6 kids going out to New York Fashion Week. They're on Paul's Magazine. I mean, these are kids that were literally coming in, not talking to each other at all, didn't have anything going on. We're talking about children who are literally betting on themselves, not going to college, and actually producing something within that. And that is by way of the CFA, and I'm just creating and building connections. And right now, I am a program participant of the Retail Ready to Work program. And that program right now is focusing on entrepreneurial success and understanding how a store runs, right? So we're going to be coming in there and understanding how a store is successful by way of 6 up-and-coming brands that are going to be coming in pretty much, and we're going to be getting them established storefront area to work from. It allows for businesses that are black and businesses that are black to just be seen as valid and solidified in the brick and mortar space. So thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Courtney Stanton. I'm the head of education and programming for Columbus Fashion Alliance. I've been with the CFA for 2 years, and it's been wonderful. I am not a native of Columbus. I've been here almost 10 years, and just being in Columbus, I always saw the potential of fashion. Just as a side hobby, I'm in the fashion industry as well, doing modeling and things like that. And so when the opportunity came to join the Fashion Alliance, I was so thrilled to be a part of this cause, because I love to help connect people with their passion and their purpose. And with that being fashion is so in alignment with my values and my hobbies and my interests as well. And at the Alliance, I'm really happy to help build the pathways to the fashion industry, connecting our retailers, connecting our designers and our program participants to, as well as our education system to the fashion industry. So thank you guys for us being here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think DCA Babies wants to add some comments.
Just really quick, I know this resolution is for 28 young folks. Is that what it said? Is it 28 young folks?
And then also, it's going to be 12 brands too as well.
Okay.
So 12 entrepreneurs.
So how does a young person beyond Columbus, if they were in any parts of Franklin County, how would they find out about how to access the resource? Secondly, Are the Family Stabilization Unit working with our young folks and who have interfacing with the justice system? Are you all referring to this resource? Because I think that there's some connectivity there as well. So how would young folks even find out about it?
Yeah, we're pretty active on social media and then within the community too as well. And so we also partner with other nonprofit organizations to spread the word. So from career centers, like even from out in Delaware, career centers, we have connections there, and we typically partner through those networks to help get the word out. And then we do our own outreach. So we have a van and we try to make sure we go around to different schools, and we partner with Parks and Rec and with My Brother's Keeper. So we try to get the word out as much as possible to people out throughout the county to see us as a resource. And we're still a very young startup organization, so all of these funds actually help us do more of that storytelling. And we've been running pretty lean since we've started. And then we've also made connections, and we welcome a lot of students. I mean, a lot of students are from Columbus City Schools. It doesn't matter what's happened in their past. We work with what's the name? What's law's what's it called? AMP. I'm sorry, the AMP program. We work with the AMP program. So it doesn't matter about what your current state is. We understand we come from all different types of backgrounds. We're here to help you kind of find your future path.
I think it would be good if we could, Mr. Yogi, if our Health and Human Services directors could sit down with you, because we have buckets of supportive service dollars, just like she was talking about kinship. There's grandparents that are taking care of young folks that may have an interest in fashion, and then maybe we can divert this as a healthy opportunity alternative.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you. And I would like to invite all of you to, we're having a big event at the retail space. We made something specially for the county, and I think you guys will love it. It's a really dope mural that was done by a Black artist here in the city, and it's all about the representation of our partnership. And so we're going to have that. We'll make sure we send you. It's March 23rd, Saturday, March 23rd. And I would love to have the commissioners there. And I heard Director Wilson has a really good podcast that we would maybe talk about. But we would really love to invite you all there to be there as a part of the grand opening and show just how really dope and a great experience this project is going to be. So looking forward to you guys.
Outstanding. You're going to send us actual invitations?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be great. Any comments? Okay. Any comments? I was just going to say thanks. I know that you mentioned that we're third next to California and LA, and I just want to say I know I set that trend for us a long time ago.
We appreciate that.
Why we are where we are. I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. But I do look forward to, because I remember this conversation when it started. And I remember being surprised, but not surprised, when you think of some of the corporate entities that have been headquartered here and had a very serious impact on fashion. But besides that, it's taken a life of its own, and that's what this represents. And I loved how you phrased it when you called it that this was really an economic development initiative. And for those who are watching and see the Board of Commissioners put over $1 million to an effort like this, I don't want to speak for my colleagues, but I'm pretty sure we all agree, we look at this as economic development. And this is one industry and one segment of our economy that we know there's room for growth. We know we've got a real foundation in Central Ohio that we can build upon. And the end result is job creation. It is spending within our economy. It is career development. It is business startups and all the things that go with that. And so we look forward to the evolution of the Fashion Alliance, and moreover, what the evolution produces. I was saying to somebody yesterday, it's really scary to think of what Central Ohio is going to look like 10 years from now.
It is.
When you see all the things that are going on and all the things that are budding up. There's not a place in Central Ohio you can't see an orange barrel or a crane in the sky. There's not a place in Central Ohio. And that is indicative of a community that's changing, that is it's almost going through a metamorphosis. And I know Commissioner Grady remembers this because he's been around a long time as well. I remember what Central Ohio was like when I was a kid. And I remember what Central Ohio was like even 20 years ago. And it's not the same. And so I'm just thinking about the role that you all play and what it looks like 20 years from now. And that's what this really represents. And so thank you for your contribution to that. Yeah.
President Boyce.
Oh, I'm sorry. Administrator Wilson?
Thank you, President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady. This is a great program. I've watched it from the start. It's great to see individuals able to see their creativity come to fruition in brands. And hopefully we see this can continue to grow. Being that number 3 fashion spot. New York and LA are so big, but we can still have aspirations of matching them, even though, we're here in Columbus, Ohio. But I want to see, when you all get the retail spot, I've saw the drawings. It's gonna be pretty cool, and hopefully we're able to take Talk of the County on location, and we can do a podcast live from your retail spot there on High Street, and then I can maybe sport some of the fashions that create. I've been hinting at for the longest time, and I ain't been able to sport none of the fashion. Try to help me look better, look younger. But I guess in all seriousness, though, this is about entrepreneurship. This is about economic empowerment. This is about Columbus being a smart and open place and an inclusive place. And we are going to continue to have energy amongst younger people when they can see their dreams come to reality through hard work and innovation. So continue doing what you're doing, and I'll continue to be cheering you guys on. Thank you. Thank you, President Boyd.
Thank you.
All right, I'm not gonna get involved in this conversation. My kids will give me a hard time, my Brooks Brothers self. They'll just tease me and think I'm out of my league.
Yeah,
so.
we like Brooks Brothers, right? All right.
So I'm just gonna leave it at that, and then I'll just graciously move for passage of resolution with no further comments or questions. Move for passage of resolution 193-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 193-24 has been adopted.
Thank you, and thank you, D'Amica, for supporting us as well, too, and thank you, Tamika, for supporting us as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Commissioners and County Administration.
Next is Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution 194-24, resolution authorizing 3 sub-grant awards and contract for services to provide public safety and crime reduction initiatives under the FY 2023 Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $211,068.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration. Melissa Pearson, Chief Operating Officer on behalf of the Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Commissioners, as you know, our office serves as the administrative agent for the Justice Assistance Grant Program on behalf of the county and the cities of Columbus, Reynoldsburg, and Whitehall. In October 2023, the Board of Commissioners approved a memorandum of understanding with the 3 cities outlining an agreed-upon funding plan and authorizing acceptance of our FY23 JAG award in the amount of $579,555. So this resolution requests your approval of FY23 JAG subrecipient awards to the cities of Columbus, Whitehall, and Reynoldsburg. The award to Columbus Public Safety in the amount of $180,000 will support the purchase of equipment to augment large crash scene investigations. The award to Whitehall in the amount of $17,422 will continue support of their youth crime prevention initiative. And lastly, the award to the City of Reynoldsburg in the amount of $13,646 will support the purchase of new patrol bicycles. And those are, I confirmed, they are mountain bikes, they're not electric, for the Reynoldsburg Police. Pending any questions, we would respectfully request your approval of these 3 subrecipient awards.
I'll move approval. With no comments or questions, I'll move approval of 194-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 194-24 has been adopted.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next is purchasing.
Resolution 195-24, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $12,234,000 $367.88.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing, and joining me is Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 132 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. For the supplier diversity data today, I'll turn it over to Tamika. Good morning, Tamika.
Good morning. 15 of the purchase orders being presented today are being awarded to small emerging businesses totaling $1,178,665.41. 1% is being awarded to disadvantaged businesses, 1% to minority-owned businesses, 1% to small businesses, and 8% to women-owned businesses. Once these are approved, site agencies have provided equitable and inclusive opportunities to small businesses this week. These agencies include Clerk of Court, Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court, Engineer, Public Facilities Management, and the Sheriff's Office. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 195-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 195-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Board of Commissioners.
Resolution 196-24, resolution authorizing a First Amendment to the Contribution and Cooperation Agreement with the Central Ohio Transit Authority for transit services supporting the Franklin County Correctional Centers in the amount of $494,500.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Long, Deputy County Administrator. So pleased to bring this before you as a First Amendment to the agreement with CODA. This is the transportation partnership that we've developed with CODA to provide transportation at both Jackson Pike and the new facility, corrections facility on Fisher Road. Big thank you to Rochelle and Melissa with JPP, who helped bring this over the finish line over a year ago, Esleen and others at CODA and Prosecutor's Office. So pleased to bring forward this First Amendment.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 196-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 196-24 has been adopted.
Great, thank you. That concludes our regular agenda. Are there any generalizations?
None at this time.
Okay, that concludes our meeting. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.